What do you look for when searching for a stretch wrapper? How do you avoid a machine that doesn't properly wrap your loads, that is labor intensive, and doesn't meet your long-term business plan? Find out in this episode of Lantech Now. Hi everyone, I'm Derek Jones. Today we're joined by Doug Clark, Technical Service Manager here at Lantech. Doug, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you, Derek? Thanks
for
having me.
Great. What are some of the things to consider when looking for a new stretch wrapper?
You know, what I've seen out in the field, what we really look for is three main things. Understanding the application, planning for the long haul, and look out for hidden costs.
Tell me what you mean by understanding the application.
Well, what kind of loads do you have? I mean, are they heavy? Are they unstable? Are they hand-picked? You know, the loads really determine what kind of choices you have in stretch wrappers. First choice would be a turntable. Second choice would be a straddle. In a turntable, most of your loads are going to be able to be wrapped on the turntable. You're going to set the loads on the turntable, and it's going to go ahead and spin it around and wrap it. Where with the straddle, we're actually moving the stretch wrapping around the unstable load or the hand-picked loads to make it more stable.
Well, now that I know what type of stretch wrapper to pick, how do I plan for the long haul?
Well, you know, you really got to ask yourself, how long are you going to have this piece of equipment? You know, my techs out in the field, they're in the business of getting things fixed, and they need the proper quality tools. If we need to do a quick hit and buy just a cheap tool to go ahead and get something fixed, you know, we'll go and buy a, you know, kind of cruddy screwdriver or something. But these guys are in the business, again, for the long haul, just like your stretch wrapper. We're going to buy quality tools that are going to last us for a very, very long time. So if you're only going to have the stretch wrapper for a short time, you know, you can buy something cheap, get you through what you need to do, and then move on. But if you're really looking to buy something that's going to last you for years, you really need to pay attention to the quality.
Okay. So any good business really needs to take a look at, you know, if I'm going to be in business for a long haul, I need to take a look at the total cost of ownership.
You're right, definitely.
Doug, now that I understand what my application is and that I'm in this for the long haul, what are some of the traps that I can fall into with hidden cost?
Well, there can potentially be a lot of hidden costs with the stretch wrapper. I think one of the first things customer needs to look into is preventative maintenance. Some companies out there have actually designed and engineered ways to prevent or minimize the amount of preventative maintenance that they do on their machine. I think a customer really needs to understand what they're signing up for when it comes to preventative maintenance. Another area to look into is warranty. There are some companies out there that actually have exclusions in their warranty, and then there are some companies that don't. I think this is another area that you really need to key into and understand what you're signing up for to make sure the costs are not exorbitant to your company.
What about labor?
You really need to look at how this machine is going to be run, how it's going to be personally manned, and how they operate the machine. Because a lot of times, if it's a completely automated machine, the cost of running that machine is pretty minimal because you don't actually have to have somebody there babysitting it all the time. There are other machines out there, very, very labor intensive. You always have to have personnel at the machine actually running the machine. It really doesn't make too much sense when it comes to automation.
It sounds like we're going to be set up for success if we understand what our application is, we take a look at the total cost of ownership and how the long haul is going to affect this, and also we understand what all the pitfalls are going to be and the traps we can fall into with hidden cost.
Yes, that's what we've seen in the field.
Well, thanks for joining us today.
You're welcome.
We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Well, now you know the three key things to look for when buying a new stretch wrapper and how to get the most out of your money. For more information on stretch wrapping, visit us at lantech.com.